Okay. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I see the
Chief
EPUs. They
Philanthropist.
still looking for
You
the
got
mayor.
something for me, Mr. Perkins?
Just want to know if we're bringing the mayor straight to you when he gets here.
Yeah, me and Corey and John. Yeah,
Corey agrees with it.
Corey McIsaac.
We got a good thing going.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everyone to A.B. Ford Park. All right. On behalf of Brad Dick, our group executive, I'm excited to be here. We want to welcome you all today. We're celebrating the beginning of a spectacular, I'm sorry, I thought I heard somebody call my name, I'm sorry. A spectacular event for our community. Here in the Jefferson Chalmers area, it's very important that we have all the amenities that we could possibly have. And today is one of those days where we're going to unveil something for you all, and we're really excited about it. This is a part of the Strategic Neighborhood Fund, and we're going to bring up a number of speakers here today. But all of this is in part of Penske Corporation. We want to thank Roger Penske for their tremendous donation. And on behalf of the Penske Corporation, I'm going to invite up Bud Denker, president of the Penske Corporation.
Thanks, Ricardo. This is a terrific day here in A.B. Park. I am delighted to be here. Want to thank Mayor Duggan, of course, for being here with us as well, too. I see a lot of friends. I see Mike Curris back here. I see Michelle Hodges, president of the Bailout Conservancy, members of my team, Michael Montry as well. And where's Letty Azar? See Letty over here. Welcome back, Letty. It's like a homecoming for you, isn't it, here back in District 4? But first of all, I want to thank the mayor, because it was his idea, his vision, to put the Strategic Neighborhood Fund together. And when he called Roger and myself, it didn't take us long to raise our hand, did it? And said, we're in. And then it was, what neighborhood should we help support? And I started driving the neighborhoods myself, and I came down in Jefferson Chalmers, and I didn't know much about Jefferson Chalmers at the time. And I went to listening sessions. I sat in your sessions, the Salvation Army building, if I remember right, one of the churches here. You didn't recognize me, had a hat on, back of the room, ate a lot of your pizza, thank you. But I listened. I listened to what was going on, what you were thinking, your concerns. And I heard your concerns, and I heard your ideas. And you've got an amazing community. You really do. A tight-knit community. You all know that. And but the community also needed some help. And I quickly said, we're going to Jefferson Chalmers to provide our help. And you don't come in and just do things. You listen to people. And that's what Mr. Mayor told me was, Bud, you got to listen and take your time. And then we were blessed to have Letty Azar as our district manager down here, as you all know. And the mayor quickly told me, you can't hire her. So I listened. It wasn't until she left the city, Mr. Mayor, that I hired her. And we're happy to have Letty as our vice president of community affairs and government relations now at Penske Corporation. And she really was the one that helped us get introduced here, helped me meet the clergy, the community leaders, to understand what you all wanted. And then when we came back here and walked the park one day, I was with your architects over here. Where did they go? Anyway, with the architects wandering and saying, what's your vision? Right? What's the vision? And he said, here's the idea we have. And now you see the pictures back here. They're just amazing. This is going to transform this park and transform the community, a place where children can go to and young adults can go to, adults and seniors, a place that they can now gather to have the meetings that we had at the Salvation Army, right, years ago, can now be held here. So we're delighted to be here. We're obviously, this is our home. Detroit's our home, Roger and mine and our team as well. We got a big event going on Belle Isle here in about 2 weeks that we're very proud of, and we're going to move it downtown next year. We're proud of that as well and bringing growth to our city as well. But Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you for your vision in this, and you're the one that really brought it together. This is why it's all happening. And we couldn't be more pleased to be here today and support your efforts and support the community efforts to have this beautiful Lennox Center built in less than 1 year. So, Mr. Mayor, all yours. Thank you.
All right. Well, it is great to be here. The history of Jefferson Chalmers is extraordinary, and there is no more passionate neighborhood association anywhere in the city than the folks here. And Ms. Minnie, I think, invited me my first month or two as mayor in 2014 to a really large community meeting. And folks down here have no trouble expressing their opinions. And at that meeting, one of the stuff said, I don't know how I feel about having the mayor down here. I said, well, why would you say this? He says, well, Mayor Kilpatrick came in, and he closed the Maharis Gentry Recreation Centers. Then Mayor Bing came in, and he closed the Lennox Center. And just when we thought it couldn't get any worse, then he closed the whole park. He says, so what are you here to close? And I thought, this is pretty powerful, that the expectations of people in this city are that all that's coming is more bad news. And so I wanted to start the Strategic Neighborhood Fund where 7 corporations put $5 million each into a neighborhood. So we go in not talking about what we're taking away, but talking about what we're building. And so we went into Old Redford and East English Village and Morningside and Cody Rouge and Warrendale. But I said, one of these 7 neighborhoods is going to be Jefferson Chalmers. It is a very special neighborhood. And we had to partner up the companies. And when Roger Penske came in and said, you know, which neighborhood? I said, I tell you what, if you go drive Jefferson Chalmers and you see the quality of the housing, the riverfront amenities, and when you hear the spirit of the people, I think you're going to fall in love. And so Letty took Roger and Bud around. Bud started coming to the meetings, and Roger came back and he said, not only do I want the Jefferson Chalmers neighborhood, I want to hire Letty too, which wasn't supposed to be part of the deal. But you look at what happened, and Bud and the team spent time here, but the whole point of Strategic Neighborhood Fund was plans designed by the neighbors. And they came back and said what the neighbors in this community want most. They remember the days when they had 2 community centers down here, and now they have none. They wanted a new community center. And so $3 million of Roger Penske's $5 million contribution is going into this center. It made it possible. General Motors coming in with $600,000 is extremely generous. And then, of course, as Ms. Minnie and the team would say, we don't just want the building, we want the park redone. So in addition to a community center, we'll have area for youth sports and activities. We're going to redo the park for walking trails and playgrounds and picnic areas and riverfront seating. And so now what's happening in Detroit, we're talking about building beauty. And the folks who stayed are the ones who deserve to benefit from it. So I am really pleased today. I knew Ms. Minnie was going to be happy to see me today. That was the best thing about coming down here. We'll be back with more and more things. We're going to stay on this until we solve this flooding problem and get this neighborhood out of the floodplain. And we're intensely into that next. But I have had a strong supporter on City Council for every single program to expand parks, to open rec centers, and to put the youth first in this community. Please welcome Councilmember Coleman Young.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Good afternoon. I think it's safe to say that. I don't know. The greatest achievement that you could have is one that has an impact on others. And I think what's so great about this in the park, and I want to thank Mr. Denker and thank Mr. Penske and the mayor for their leadership on this, is that not only does this represent a park and an opportunity for people to play, we all know what happened with the flooding in this area. And the fact that people now have a refuge to go to for that children have a place to go to, that people who were paralyzed before, that didn't have anywhere to go, that felt that they were trapped in their own house, have a place to go to. That this doubles not just as a place for people to be able to play and for children to be able to play and make memories, but it also doubles as a place for people who are the most vulnerable to have a place for protection and shelter and to shield them from harm. I think is a great thing. I think it's a job well done. And I think it's something that will impact the lives of others for generations to come. So I'm privileged to be here. As a chairman of Neighborhood and Community Services, I actually voted to approve this. So I'm also really happy about that, not to pat myself on the back here, but I am very happy about that. But in conclusion, I just want to say it is my honor to be here. It is my honor to be able to do this. This is something that will have impact beyond what we will know. People will not remember what we do or what we say at this groundbreaking, but they will remember that a group of people who came together with right intentions and like minds, who wanted to do things for the right reasons and had the right talent behind us to get this done. This is what happens when love and skill come together. We create a masterpiece. Welcome to the masterpiece of the new A.B. Ford Park, and I am honored to be a part of it with Ms. Lester and everyone here. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Councilmember. None of this would be possible without input from the community. So representing the community, we have Juvette, Hawkins-Williams, and Minnie Lester.
Good afternoon. I am Juvette Hawkins-Williams. I currently serve as president of Friends of Jefferson Chalmers Riverfront Parks. Thank you and welcome to our beautiful home. Let's take 1 second. Look around. Wildlife is amazing back here. Now that we took a second. Friends of Jefferson Chalmers Riverfront Parks, we advocate on the protection of public parks, conservation, and as I mentioned, wildlife. Last but not least, the safety of our children and our families and community as a whole. I'm a lifelong resident of Jefferson Chalmers, born and raised, reared, and attended school right around the corner. So you know, I'm passionate about this effort and this project. I don't want to speak alone. I would like to thank the mayor, the city council, and most importantly, the Jefferson Chalmers family. Persistent, committed, as the mayor mentioned, years. This is like almost 20 years in the making. You know, he mentioned 8, but our parks are our lives. We thank you, we appreciate you, and I'm going to turn it over to Miss Minnie. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Minnie Lester. I've lived here in Jeff Chalmers since 1973. My husband, Eddie Lester, has lived here since 1949. And so we've been here for a very, very long time. He often talks about the history of this park. The park used to be, this park here used to be for night missiles and a radar station. I didn't know that, and so he was telling me the history. And so he always tells me so much about this area because he just loved this area, and I do too. And I thank everybody for coming out today. And you know, he said when the military moved out, the park was given back to the community. They moved out in 1960, and the park was, this Lennox Center was built in 1969. It was for residents for special needs. We had a lot of young peoples up here. And I know I used to come here all the time to have my meetings. And it was all very, very nice, very, very nice. And so it's a beautiful place for us to visit. I'm so thankful that I'm going off of my script. You know, my kids helped me write the script, but I wrote go off it. But, you know, my children used to play up here in the park. My daughter told me, Mama, you didn't know that we was up there. I said, no, I sure didn't, because I wouldn't want you there. But the community leaders of the Lennox Center, the community leaders used the park for the meetings here. They gathered until it closed. I was sad to see the park close and fall into disarray. We're very excited to see the city of Detroit and our mayor. Our mayor has really, really helped us in this area of Jeff Chalmers. He used to come to my meetings. I never had a mayor to come to a meeting before, so I was very, very, excited about that also. And this is all due to the community input. All of us work together. None of us do anything by ourselves. We all do it together. And so this is what we all doing. A rep from Mr. Penske's office came to my meeting also, and I just saw him again today. And he presented a sizable donation to our center, to reopen the center. That was great news for us. That was wonderful news for us. And here we are today, another park in our community being renewed. It warms my heart to know that the park and center is being restored. It's very good for our children to have a place to go and play and to come and be safe. I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Brad Dick for working with me with Hanson Park. I gave Mr. Dick a lot of problems. I stayed on him a lot. He know me by name. And so I want to really thank him for the things that he did for us in this area also. And I want to thank you very much for having me to speak today. I know I'm not saying very much, but the things that we are most grateful for is that we are getting our park back. And I really thank Mayor Duggan for all he have done. I know I already said that, but I really want to thank him again for all the things that he have done for us and for our community. Thank you so very much. Oh, I want to give out a shout out to Letty Azar, because if it wasn't for her, I don't think Mr. Penske would have came to my meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Lester. This building will also feature a resiliency hub for residents, and that's all in thanks to the GM Climate Equity Fund. Here representing GM, Lori Wingater.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's always great to follow some strong women community leaders. As we see here, they're the ones that are holding up and pushing this action forward. So on behalf of GM, I'm thrilled that I could be here today to participate in this groundbreaking. As most of you know, GM has called our Detroit our home for over 100 years. And last year with the mayor, our leader, Mary Barra, committed $50 million to nonprofits that are helping to build the future of Detroit and its residents. But there's no better way to invest in Detroit's sustainable future than by working with our partner, Elevate, who's here today, to make this center powered by solar energy. The solar installations will include a battery and generator, which will ensure the facility will have access to power during times of emergency, such as a flood and a power outage. So that was very important. The residents will be able to come here to plug in their medical devices, their phones, their computers, have access to internet. And our grant is really part of our climate energy fund that was mentioned, because as you know, we're transitioning to an all-electric future at places like Factory Zero, which is right up the road, and our fund is reaching into communities such as this to make sure we're creating a more sustainable future. As the world responds to the consequences of climate change and works to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions, it's imperative that we build new infrastructures with sustainability at the core. We're thrilled to be here today and play a part in this, along with the residents and also the City Council, the mayor, and the Penskes. So thank you very much, and congratulations to everybody.
So before I bring up our final speaker, I want to acknowledge our City of Detroit team, Rhea Batista, Ariana Zanetti, Jeff Klein, Marie, who unfortunately wasn't able to be here today, and Maria Galarza. They worked very hard on this project, and I want to thank them for all their hard work, as well as our friends from Inform, Planning and Development, and Invest Detroit. The city has the pleasure of working with a dynamic group of contractors that help us bring this vision to life, and representing our contractors today is David Kovalik.
Thank you. On behalf of DeAngelis Diamond Construction, we are thrilled and honored to be a part of this project and partner with the city and everyone here today. This beautiful park and recreation center, once completed, will be a focal point for the neighborhood and for the residents to use for years to come. Through the efforts of those who spoke before me, the residents of the city of Detroit, and the hardworking construction professionals that will put everything together, we are excited to bring this project to completion and be here for the ribbon cutting ceremony in the future. Now, with that being said, let's get to work.
I think we're done. I thought it would get the shovels in the ground.